This workout, called chair yoga and strength, is not really a yoga practice, although I do use a number of yoga poses because they are so great for strength, for flexibility, and for balance. But we're also concentrating on our strength, building our strength. We'll do upper body, move on to lower body. Now we can sit in the chair and then stand for the second half, but if you'd like to stand up for the first half, you could do that too. Everything is just up to you. You'll have the chair here to assist you in whatever level you are at. So let's get started with our chair yoga and strength. We are going to have these 4 principles all the time. You're pulling your lower abs away from that hot zipper. Your shoulder blades, not your shoulders on top, but the blades in the back, the angel wings, are pulling down. Your head is pulling up with your ears over your shoulders, and the spine is super long. So let's lift the arms up, and the shoulder blades pull down as the arms come up. Hands come to the center and push your hands together, and this gives you a little work in the pecs. Pull the shoulders down. Now this is going to be like the first 10 minutes is all going to be a flow that is for your posture, for the shoulder girdle, opening up the shoulders, opening up the chest, and then we always want to think of lifting our back. Let's go one more time. Lift, and when the shoulders blades are pulling down, and then the hands press together so you get a little pecs, then back up on the top. Now push the shoulder blades down as hard as you can as your arms go. You can hold the chair if you want with your hand, but we're going to go up and over and be equal on your sit bone. So one sit bone didn't slide off that chair or tip off the chair. So as we go through this flow, we are stretching, but we are stabilizing the pelvis. So let's do it again, side to side, and think about the stabilizing of the pelvis part. That means that you are not tipping your sit bone up off the chair as you stretch. Let's come back to the top. Take a deep inhale in, and both arms are going to come forward. Now, as the arms come forward, your shoulder blades and arms are in place. You're not like this. You're pulling the shoulders back. All right, guys, but then you don't have to turn. I will. Then you shift forward, but see, I didn't go like this. You keep the shoulder blades down in the back so that you've got a nice tall back. And here's where we row the boat. So elbows go back. They feel like they're touching, and then hinge from the hips forward. And again, elbows go back. So we're not rounding the back. We're actually hinging forward from the hips and pulling that row the boat. I'm going to turn so you can see. Back is straight. We're on a hinge, and then elbows come together and the chest lifts. Again, forward, keep the shoulder blades pulled down. Your back is not rounding, and elbows back. We're opening the chest, and we're squeezing those shoulder blades together to strengthen in between the shoulder blades in our back. So you can see that for posture, this is an imperative exercise move to add to your everyday moves. Everything is going to come up. Now the elbows are going to come into the waist, and now your fingers, they're coming like right out from your waist. I'm going to turn so you can see, but we want to lift the chest and move the forearms back and then come back to center. Both forearms scoot back. Yeah. Oh, push it back to center. Now they don't go very far, right? But this is an excellent move for increasing your ability to stand up straight and have beautiful posture. We're going to squeeze those shoulder blades together and open the chest, but the elbows stay in the waist and come center. Arms are going to come up. Inhale. And arms forward. And again, you keep it right there in the socket. You don't pull it forward like that, right there in your back. We're going to start the row the boat. It's like row the boat, only it's bow and arrow. So again, you hinge forward, but don't let this happen. You're only hinging from the hip socket, and then one elbow comes back. Now I want to call your attention to your knees while you're doing this, because the knees stay super glued together. One knee is not sliding behind the other as you do the twist. We'll do one more. So the knees stay really together, and now that arm in the front, it's so super extended. And then open that back arm into a T, but the knees did not move. They're super glued together straight ahead. Back to the center. I'm going to turn. You don't have to. Arms are down and shoulder rolls. Let's do the other side. So when I'm talking about the knees, what happens, I'm going to demonstrate. A lot of times people will go like, I'm going to exaggerate. They let one knee slide behind or they move. That's not what we want. We want to be exactly together in our knees so that the back is doing the rotating, not the shifting of the pelvis. So on that diagonal, here we go. One arm moves back. Now keep that shoulder blade really pulled down. And then again on the diagonal, here's number 2. That front arm is reaching. It's not lax. It's really reaching out. So the front arm reaches one way and the elbow reaches the other. The knees do not slide around. They stay exactly in the same place. Holding there. All right, let's do it. Open up the back arm. Sit taller, taller. Can you? A little bit taller. And then back to the center, arms drop. So you can feel how that squeezes the shoulder blades together in the back and opens up the chest. Let's just take a deep breath in. Now, without the knees moving at all, we're going to twist and let the arms come into a low V to the side. But the legs did not move at all. The knees did not shift. Back to the center. The sit bones did not shift on your chair. Other way. We want all the rotation to come from the thoracic vertebrae, or, the like where your waist is, not from shifting the hips. Back up to the center with that great big deep breath. Now we're going to do circles and twist at the same time. And we've been doing them like this. We do them like this, sitting. But if you would like to try it, you holding onto your chair and standing, you would bend your knees a little bit so they don't move and do the hinge and lift and open without the knees moving or shifting. So standing or sitting, your choice. We're going to come to the edge of the chair though if you're sitting. So here we go. On the diagonal, you pitch. It's like an underhand pitch, and then up, open to the back, and the knees do not move. And underhand pitch, it's that same hinge we've been doing, and to the back. So when you hinge, your back stays super duper long, and then open to the back. One more time. And when you open to the back, your knees do not come one knee behind the other. They stay all the way together. We're going to lift that arm up, sitting tall, and pat yourself on the back. Now, if you have the flexibility for it, you could put this hand behind your back or even try to touch your fingers together. So that kind of opens the chest even more. All right, here we go the other way. So all the way down. Now sit tall and remember, put your hand on your knees so you can feel that one knee does not slide behind the other. All the way up. 2 more times. Everything down. Lift. One arm does not move. This is keeping the knees together, just checking it out. All the way forward, and then keeping your arm as straight as you can, you fold it into your chest. Now here's where you have to really think about not moving your knees, is when you do that little bit more of a twist. Little bit more, because you'll be tempted to take your knees with you. But we don't want to do that. Everything opens and push that arm back as much as you can. Chest up a little bit and down. Here we go for the other side. So remember, we're not rounding. You're just hinging forward from the hip. Okay, ready? Here we go. Forward from the hip and lift Now stay super tall as you open to the back. Put your hands on your knees. Now this, I know, is an exercise that would be super good to do every single day because the rotation of the spine is happening and the opening of the chest at the same time. Really valuable. Out, up, keep your body lifted, and then one more time. Down, up, and then you twist. This comes to the very top. Pat yourself on the back, and if you can keep your back really straight and reach around with that other arm and touch, if you like that, or maybe just one hand behind your back that you're pushing the elbow back. All right, here we go the other way. So it's like a bow. You bow, you sit tall, and then it circles to the back. Again, up. Bow, sit tall. You're not rounding your back. Remember, it's just like a hinge. Now let's put the hands on the knees so that you can feel that they stay exactly together while you're doing this. And one knee doesn't slide right now on the twist. That's where it's going to want to slide. Let's do one more. So during the twist is where it's going to want to slide. And we'll take it all the way to the front. Shoulder blade pulls down, so it's really pressed down. Arm comes across your chest, and it's best if you cannot bend it. And then, without moving your knees at all, you twist from the waist just a little tiny bit more. And open it up. Now that hand is going to push behind you as you get a little bit taller. Great. Both arms are going to come up. Elbows down. This is called cactus in yoga, or goalpost, they call it sometimes. So without your back bending or rounding, we're just going to bring the elbows together and then open. And again, elbows together. Now, when the elbows come together, I want you to try to think about sitting a little taller during the time that the elbows come together, like right now. Taller and open. One more time. Close it and open. This time your hands open, your palms face back, lift your chest and push both arms back. So now we're opening the chest. It's the opposite of what we were doing with the elbows closing. Everything down and a little bit of a shoulder roll. Now we're going to take that arm movement, the one like cactus that closes a little bit further, into an arm position known in yoga as eagle pose. So here we are with your palms up, sitting super tall, cross and open. And see if you can cross a little bit more than elbow to elbow and open. Now, when we get to doing the eagle pose, arms, if you don't like them, go back to the goal post that closes to the elbows. But if you want to do this one, take one arm under. I'm going to get close so you can see. And then up. Now put the back of your hands together. And if you can, and go a little farther, you come around so that the palms are together. So this position here is called eagle pose in yoga. And in yoga, whatever arm is on the bottom, that's the leg you pick up and put over the top. So this is like a chair yoga position. The actual eagle pose is standing like this. But we're just doing the sitting version. If you ever want to try the standing version, though, you'll know what it is. Let's take the arms apart, take the feet down, and again, press the palms back and lift the chest because that's the opposite stretch. Now we're going to do the other side. So one elbow goes under, bend, palms together, and if you can, you wrap them around just even a little bit more. Whatever is the bottom arm, that's the leg that goes over. So if you're taking like a chair yoga class that's just pure chair yoga, which this isn't, this would be eagle pose in chair yoga. Take a deep breath there. Let it go. It's a great pose to open up your back. And then this is the one you do after it, where you push your hands back and lift your chest. Arms drop, and we'll just circle, circle, circle around. So now we've really worked a lot on the shoulders, the shoulder blades, opening up the shoulder girdle and creasing and uncreasing the hip sockets. We're going to go on now to some strength training and get our weights. So if you just have one type of weight, that's fine. If you have lighter and heavier, that's a little bit better, I would say, because, you know, muscles are bigger and smaller than each other. So we want to start out with your heaviest weights. And I'm going to turn so you can see. Once again, we're going to scoot to the very front of the chair, because I want you to put your arms down all the way. And if you're not, you know, if you're back in the chair, you won't be able to get your arms all the way down. So sitting super tall and keeping the elbows in the waist. We're going to do a 1 minute interval, 1 minute of bicep curls. Now on these bicep curls, see how my palms are facing the ceiling. It's in this direction. Your elbows are going to stay right there in your waist, because I don't want you to swing those weights like this. No swinging. We are sitting tall and just moving from the elbow down. Sitting super tall. Now, while we're doing this, think about your principles. Hot zipper, string of pearls of the spine, ears over the shoulders and pulling down in the shoulder blades. Now we are 45 seconds into our 1 minute interval. So this is where you should start getting some feedback from the muscle. 75% into your interval is when you want to start feeling something like, ooh, this is getting hard. That was 1 minute. Let's put the weights on your lap. We're just going to rest for 15 seconds in between. We're coming up into our second bicep curl, but we're going to change it a little tiny bit. Your elbows will still be there in your waist, but you're coming up like on a V. It's not actually all the way to the side, but almost like this. So you ready? Here we go. Lift it and down. So it's almost all the way to the sides. You're trying to get for the full range of motion. So we're going for the full range of motion, which means that your arms go all the way down and all the way up. Tummy is up. We got your principles working the whole time. All those 4 principles. Hot zipper, string of pearls, pulling your spine super long, ears over the shoulders. Yeah, and the shoulder blades are down. Just a few more. Now your knees aren't moving around. Everything is stable. And here we go. Just for a little rest. So those are bicep curls when your palm is facing up like that. Our third set of biceps are going to be hammer curls. They look like this. You're holding the weights like this instead of like this. So here we go with our hammer curls. These are going to be back to the front. All righty, here we go. 1 minute of these hammer curls. So, you know, we want to go slowly, especially on the way down. You don't want to give in to gravity, but we need to be thinking of other things too while our arms are going up and down. We're thinking of not holding our breath, always thinking of breathing. We're thinking of our 4 principles. Get your belly pulled away from that hot zipper. Pull your spine as long as you can. Keep your shoulder blades down and keep your ears over your shoulders, always. Okay, guys, we are 45 seconds into this 1 minute interval, which means it should be getting really hard now. If it isn't getting really hard, it's time for you to go up in weight. Okay, that concludes our bicep curls. We're going to go on to shoulders. Now, shoulders are not a big muscle like your bicep. So we're going to go into your lighter weight as we do the shoulders. All right, we got our lighter weights. The first thing we're going to do is come up into our goal post. Your palms are straight ahead. You've got all 4 of your principles working. Here we go, up and down. Now you don't extend your arms all the way. So up and down. And we never drop the arms down to your waist. It's from goal post up and down. The shoulders are down and the ears are over your shoulders. Now, if ever you feel this in your neck, that's when you want to stop, because we just want to be working lats and shoulders here. Lats are in your back. We don't want to pull your neck into the action. But what happens is when those other muscles get kind of tired, they start trying to recruit other muscles to help out, and they might start to recruit the muscles around the neck. And that's when you want to stop and just turn your head like this for a minute and come back in if you want, or drop the weights. All right, that was our first shoulders. Let's put it down. We're going to do another variation on shoulders. So we're going to have the weights hanging down with your palms like this. You're not this way, you're this way. So we are going to lift. Now, if you have really light weights, you can do them both at the same time, or you can do one or the other. Okay, here we go. I'm going to give you some options. You can maybe go one, then the other, and do like that, or you can do both at the same time, or you can do right, left, both. I'm going to do right, left, both. So as we get stronger, we'll be able to do both the whole time. But both is kind of hard on those front deltoids on the front of your shoulders. So you decide. If you pull a shoulder muscle, it takes a long time to get better. So we don't want to get hurt. It's better to ease up into these things in a way that you don't ever get hurt, so you can stay in the game. We got 15 more seconds. Right, left, then both, or just right, left, or all both if you want. But we got our 4 principles working for us the whole time. That was 1 minute. Now the same thing applies to when we go out to the side. We're going to do what are called flies. So arms are going to hang down. Flies lift like this, not all the way up. So you can do one, the other one, and both, or just right and left. So here we go. 1 minute. I'm going to go right, left, and both. But you decide what's best for you. Now, if you are lifting both, you're going to feel kind of like sinking when you do both, but you got to get taller. So we never want to sink. 1, 1, and both. Or if you like, you can just stick with both. Or just right and left. I'm just going to leave that up to you. We're going straight to the sides. And you can feel this on your shoulders, right? If it gets to your neck, I want you to stop, put the weights in your lap, and just make your head say no like this, so that you stretch your neck back out. So both at the same time, or one and then the other, up to you, but never do we let it go into your neck. So that is the side deltoid of the shoulder. That was 1 minute right there. So the shoulder has 3 little muscles that go around the front deltoid, the side deltoid, and the back deltoid. So now we're going to move to the back deltoid. This time you do have to, I think, come to the edge of your chair. If you have a back on your chair, You might want to scoot like I am to the side. And then we don't want to bend over this way. We want to hinge a little bit forward and then take your arm back on a diagonal. So it's not hanging down here. It's on the diagonal and it just comes up from there. We're going to go 30 seconds per side. So here we go. So you're sitting tall with your chest up and that arm never falls all the way down. And for sure, you're not swinging it. You're lifting it and lowering it, pulling your tummy in, keeping your chest up. Now you really got to concentrate on the way down, that you don't drop it, but you're just resisting gravity on the way down. All right, let's do the other side. So you're on the diagonal, then your arm comes on the diagonal too. And here we go, 30 seconds for that back deltoid, and it's a little bit of tricep too. So we're going all around the shoulder. A few more seconds, really slowly on the way down. And there we are at 30 seconds. We still have to work on the tricep. The tricep is this little dingly dangly thing under here, right? So if you want to move to your heavier weights, I'll leave that to you. I'm going to stay with my lighter weights today. So you want to come to the edge of the chair. I'm going to turn so you can see, because you don't want the weights running into the back of your chair. Now, you don't have to do these with your chair. If you want to stand up, you can do them this way. But if you're doing them in the chair, I think it's a little bit better for your back. So here we go. We're sitting tall. Now pull your abs in and you squeeze your elbows to your head. We don't want to be out here. We want them squeezed in. I'm going to turn so you can see, and then up and down. So what's working the tricep is the way up, but we come slowly, slowly on the way down. So you know you're working your tricep when you straighten your arm or extend from the elbow joint. When you do that, that is a tricep exercise, because the tricep is the muscle in charge of elbow extension or straightening your arm. Elbows are straight ahead now, so we don't want them out here. Get them close together, really close together. We don't want to involve anything but the triceps. Sitting super tall, and don't forget your 4 principles. We're still using them, especially pulling those abs in. Here's just a few more. Working those triceps. And that's it. Let's drop the weights. Now, I want to tell you an exercise to do by yourself later, because I don't want to do it with a chair because I think it's unstable. But for the triceps, if you could go against your kitchen counter, like pretend this is my kitchen counter, and make your elbows come to your waist. See, you can't really do it on a chair because the chair scoots. You make the elbows come to the waist and up. So against your kitchen counter, we don't want to do it like this, not push-ups like this, like they do in the Marines. We want the elbows to come right into the waist like this. And that's what we're going to have working our triceps. If you go like this, you're working pecs too. And we want to keep it in the triceps. So that's a great one to incorporate at home, on your own, at your kitchen counter, or against a wall. We're going to move down the body now. So let's put the weights down. We're moving into the hip flexor. Very, very important to work this. So sitting tall, it's harder to do this sitting than it is standing, actually. So we're sitting very tall. You can hold the chair if you want, because that makes it a little easier if you're holding the chair. But if you can, keep your hands right there on your hips, and we just start a little march. Now, what we don't want to do, what is going to wreck the whole thing, is if you round your back like this when your leg comes up. We want to keep your back super duper tall during these marches. And it's so important during these marches to do the 4 principles. So press your abs in, like away from the hot zipper. Get your spine as tall as you can with your chest lifted. Pull the shoulder blades down so that your shoulders aren't up there by your ears. Yes, long, long spine. Ears over the shoulders. Shoulder blades pulling down. Abs pressed in. Those are our 4 principles. We're always thinking of those. And let it go. Just shake it out. Now it's a little bit harder to do that with your arms up. So that's what we're gonna do. Arms are up. This is so tall, but see, we don't want to sit like this. Get your shoulder blades down so that your neck is super long. And then it doesn't matter. I'm going to turn so you can see. It doesn't matter if you're even coming off only 1 inch. That doesn't matter. What matters is you're keeping your back super long while you're flexing your hip. When you pick up your leg, that's hip flexion. Now, why is hip flexion so super important? Because hip flexion lifts your leg. And we want to not trip. We want to pick up our leg and go up the steps, pick up our leg and go up the curb, pick up our leg and walk over the carpet, whatever it is, we want to be able to pick it up. So this is a super important exercise. Now, if you can, just cross over one arm toward the knee. It's good for your brain, and it also challenges you to stay very lifted. Lift, lift, lift that back. I know you can pick up your knee, but lift your back. And that's it. Let's take a break. Ooh. We're going to go into a position called goddess pose in yoga. Your toe points out, your toe points out. You have to come and sit at the very edge of your chair. Now, it's not so hard to do this if you're slumping over, but we're not slumping. We're pressing the spine so long and the abs against the spine. And then take your thighs and push them back. Yes, it's intense. So lift it, lift it, lift it. Now keep the thighs pressed back. Arms are going to go out. This is goddess pose in yoga. It looks like a ballet second position too. So this is a very, ubiquitous exercise you see a lot. Now see how my knee is right over my ankle? We don't want to be like this. You really want to be all stacked up, knee over the ankle. Hold it with your chest up, up, up. I know, you kiss the back of those glutes, doesn't it? Everything down and then shake your way back in. Now you're going to like this. So put your hands on the side of your chair. Without moving your chest, you take the knees one way and then the chest goes the other way. It's kind of like a pinup girl. For you fellas, welcome to the pinup girl pose. Back to the center, knees go one way, so it's not the hips, it's the knees that go, and then your chest goes the other way for that nice little twist. And it also closes up the hips from what we just did in that goddess pose. Back to the center, going down your leg, you know that we are going to do these tiptoes because we want to have flexibility in the ankle. And when we want to walk heel toe, heel toe. We do not want to shuffle, right? Shuffling is for the elderly, and that is not us, my boomer friends. We are so young at heart, and we are so young in our flexible joints because we do this all the time. So when you're sitting at the breakfast, lunch, or dinner table, just do your pumps like this so that you always work in a little flexibility in the ankles. Legs go out a little bit farther and then tap, tap, tap. Now, while you're doing those taps, we want to sit tall. We want all 4 principles. That tap, tap, tap is just letting that shin get a little bit warmed up. Feet are going to come in. Now we are going to practice going into what in yoga is called chair pose. This is a move that we all need to be able to do because we need to be able to get up, right? So we're going to take both arms. I'm going to turn on the diagonal. Both arms are going to swing and you come to this diagonal. You can stay straight ahead. I'm doing this on the diax, you can see. And then up we go. And then arms swing and we're in that diagonal and back up. Now this time, don't get up, but think about if your feet would be in the right place. Swing. If you wanted to get up, where would you have to put your feet? All right, this is the get up one. All right, ready? Here we go. Swing and you're up. Now this pose in yoga is called chair pose. If you don't like the arms up, just bring them wherever you like. But do you see how I'm on a diagonal from my sit bones to the top of my head? Now put your weight on your heels so you can lift up your toes. Yep, that's gonna really work on those glutes. And then a little bit, we go up and down. Let's go 8 times. Up and down. No, don't drop your chest. Up. That's number 3. Here's number 4. Squeeze your legs together. Number 5, keep your chest up. Your weight's on your heels. 2 more. Your weight's back there on your heels. Your booty is way back there. But the chair is there, so you can't fall over, right? All the way up. Inhale. And open. Standing at the back of your chair. Now, if you want to, you could let go of the chair and just have one finger on the chair, right? So we don't want to just like hold onto the chair for dear life all the time if we don't have to. So you're standing super tall, shift your weight a little bit to the ball of your foot, and here we go, all the way up and down. Now we want to keep those ankles together. Take a look. We don't want the ankles coming apart like that. Keep them together on your way up and on your way down, but especially on your way up. So get our 4 principles working for us. You've got the abs in, you've got the shoulder blades down, you've got the ears over the shoulders, and your spine is super duper long. Up and down. Now I'm going pretty slowly, and resisting gravity on the way down is the ticket. Tummy is in, ears over the shoulders. We want to be super tall while we do this. And what is this doing? It is the ankle flexibility thing again, but now we are building calf strength, ankle strength. One more, and we just shake it out. Now that really contracts the calf. So we want to just stretch the calf out a little bit, and we'll be able to accomplish that by doing this in chair yoga. They call this downward facing dog. It's going to stretch out the hamstring a little bit. Back of the legs are straight if you can. And we'll come back up. Now, we're going to do this on both feet. So pick a foot, put the toes up, and that's your front leg. So your front leg is the one with your toes up. Bend your back knee and go over. Now you are stretching into the calf. So this is the exercise. This is the stretch you do after calf raises, because we want to always stretch what we contract. Here's the other side. Put your foot in front. The toes come up. Your back leg bends. Keep your back flat and straight as we come over. So you can feel this really stretches the calf and the back of the leg, but you got to have your toes up and up. We're going into lunges. So in lunges, I'm going to move my chair so I can show you. We always want the knee over the ankle. We never want the knee in front of the ankle, not ever. So in your chair, I find the best way is to put your foot kind of under the chair a little bit. Then when you bend your knee, it bumps into the chair, and see? Knee over the ankle, and you won't get in trouble by doing that, which is very bad for your knee. So right there, knee over. Now the back leg, we want those 5 toes straight ahead. And if you are really wide, you're going to turn your foot out. So don't make it so wide. We want the 5 toes straight ahead. And then we're just going to go up and down. Let's go 5 times. 2, 3, 4 on that back ankle, and 5. Stretch the heel toward the front. Now, probably you feel like your belly's out to the front. We want to pull it in so this goes more straight up and down instead of this. And then one arm off. This is a crescent lunge when all 10 toes are straight ahead. Now you could have one arm then the other, or you could just have one finger. And let's take it down. Shake it out. We're going to do the other side, crescent lunge. So one foot a little bit under the chair, then forward. Never ever will it come in front of the ankle. Back leg is where you can get your heel down, and hit 5 times. 1, now go up on the toes as much as you can. 2, and push the heel down as much as you can. And 3, all 10 toes are straight ahead. And 4, your body's straight up and down. And 5. Now we don't want to be curving. We want to get your back straight, your tailbone down, your abs up, shoulder blades down, back is long, ears over the shoulders, abs are really pressing in. So yep, there's our principles, but I want you to pull that tailbone down and tummy up. Back to the center. We're just going to shake it out. Little prances so that your ankle gets a chance to go the other way. Now, in yoga, they have some great poses. Those are the poses I bring into this class because they help with your strength, and they help with your balance, and they help with your flexibility. That's the beauty of yoga. It just addresses all of that. So this is going to be warrior 1. These 2 bones right here, we have to always know where those 2 bones are. They're facing the chair. In warrior 1, we're going to put 1 foot under the chair, bend the knee. Now look at my back foot. It turns out a little bit. So my back toes are pointing to, like, is that 2 o'clock? So now we're turned out, and if I go the other foot, you'll be able to see. It makes like a little platform, see? So it's not super turned out, because if it was, those 2 bones would no longer face the chair. So here we go, arm up. This is warrior 1 when you're turned out a little bit from the hip. And then if you like, here's the other arm, and your knees a little bit against the chair. It gives you some, I would say, confidence. Gives you just a little help. Tailbone is down, tummy is up. This is warrior 1. Now we're going to bring your hands to the chair. Whatever leg is in the front, put that arm out. The other one holds the chair. Now remember on bow and arrow how we never move the hips? That's now as well. So here we go. We're going to twist on the top, but do not move the hips. And back to the center. So you got the same arm and as your front leg, and then it twists and back to the center. Here's the third one. We're going to hold it. Now, if you feel like this is twisting your knee too much, you might have that back leg turned out too much. We do not want to twist that back knee. If you like, you can open the arm, but make sure that your back knee is comfortable with this. It's a big twist because your hip's going one way and your torso is going the other way. Back to the center. All right, let's shake it out and just for the comfortableness of it, let's just take that downward facing dog and we'll do the other side. I'm going to turn my chair so that when I twist, I can keep looking at you. So one knee goes, 1 foot under the chair so that your knee is in the right place. Back leg turns out a little bit. It's not parallel anymore. It's a little turned out, but these 2 bones straight to the chair. This is warrior 1. The difference between warrior 1 lunge and crescent lunge is crescent, all 10 toes are straight ahead. In warrior 1, the back foot is at like 2 o'clock or 10 o'clock, whatever clock that is over there. Shoulders are down. You can maybe just have one arm on the chair. Now your tummy is in. You're not swooping your torso. Tailbone is down, tummy is up. Shoulder blades down, ears on top of the shoulders. Warrior one. Everything comes back to the chair. Keep your chest up. Whatever leg is in the front, there goes that arm. Now, careful, we do not want your back knee to get wrenched. So make sure your back knee is not turned out too much. And we twist bow and arrow. Whatever is the front leg, that's the same arm. So you'll see that your hip is turned out one way and then your torso is turning out the other way. So it's a really super big twist. Here's number 3. We're going to hold it. If you feel comfortable with it, open it. If you're not comfortable with that, just keep it in bow and arrow. Everything back to the front and shake it out all the way back. We're going to go to Warrior 2 next. It's a yoga pose and it's a very, very nice pose for strength, flexibility, and stability. So one leg is under, just like always. And now the back leg is going to turn out so these toes are straight ahead. And you know these 2 hip bones that used to be facing the chair? They're not. They're looking in the same direction as this foot down here. Back arm is out. So without the chair, it looks like this. The chair's just there if you want to keep holding it. Warrior 2 is a profile pose. So you look out over the chair, and if you want to, you could straighten that front arm. Don't feel like you have to, but whatever you do, think about that knee that's against the chair. You've got to push that thigh back. Remember when we were in goddess pose, sitting down, and we pushed our thighs back? Yeah, it's the same thing. Push your thigh back. Next, we're going to go into extended side angle, so you can hold the chair if you want. This arm comes up and over, or you could put your forearm there on your thigh. But see how it's one long line from the fingertips to the foot? Yep, this is called extended side angle in yoga. Let's come back up to Warrior 2. Letting go if you want. And then we're going to take all 10 toes forward. I'll turn so you can see. Bend your knees. You could still hold the chair if you wanted. And then round your back like a cat. And then arch your back into a swoop. So in yoga, this is called cat and cow. So when you round your back, you exhale, rounded like a cat. And then arch your back into a swoop. In yoga, that's called cow, when you swoop your back like that. Everything rolls up. I'm going to turn so I can keep watching you. And we are going to go Warrior 2 on the other side. So foot is under the chair. Knee is there. See? Knee over the ankle. And now that back toe, back foot, hip, straight ahead. These 2 hip bones are in the same direction as that back foot. Back arm is down, looking on the profile, and if you want to, arm out. Now remember, those shoulder blades are going to pull down, the tailbone pulls down, and the abs pull in and up. Ears are over the shoulders. Well, not exactly because your head is turned, but you know what I mean. This is Warrior 2. Yeah, it takes a lot of strength, right? And that to hold that on that front leg, a lot of weight. Then holding onto the front of the chair, we'll take it over to the side. If you want to put your hand someplace else, like on your thigh or lower on the chair. But the point is we want this to be one long line, all the way stretched. Then back up into your Warrior 2. Let it go one more time if you like. Chest is lifted. Hand on the chair, all 10 toes straight ahead. Knees bend. Exhale, round into your cat. Arch into the cow. Round into the cat, and we come all the way up. We're going to start working on strengthening and stabilizing the legs and hips. So we're going to start facing the chair. Knees are both bent. Now you don't want to stick your booty out. You want it straight down with your abs in and your shoulder blades down. So all the principles. Then one leg comes up, so you're knee to knee. Now I want to call your attention mostly to your standing leg because we don't want it wiggling around. We want stability in that standing leg. Even though it's bent, knee is over like the second toe and it doesn't wiggle. Now that leg that's up in the air is not going to come forward, and here we go. 8, 7, keep your tummy up. 6, 5, 4, to the back. 3, not up, but back. 2, now hold it back there. Get your back really super straight. Whatever leg is on the floor, that's the arm that goes out in front. Holding there, and then the leg that's in the back, we want to stretch it out. So put it in the front, flex it, bend your back knee and go over. Yes, because you could feel that the leg that was, poking back, you could feel the hamstring, I hope. So let's do the other side. Knees are bent, tailbone is down, bending. This has to be super stable, this standing leg. Here we go. 8. Don't move your tummy. 7, 6. This stays nice and long. 5, 4. Just taking that hip back. 3, toe back. 2, standing tall, and stay there. Whatever is the standing leg, that's the arm you take out. This is the chair yoga version of dancer pose when they do that. I'm not very good at it. And then that leg comes to the front, flex the front foot and over. So the back knee is bent. So that was hip extension. That was the hip going, to the back. We're going to do hip to the side and hip to the front, flexion. So this is to the side. Now, knee against knee, if you want, or if you want it to be harder, you take this leg out to the side. But whatever you do, the hip does not go to the chair. So you could do it like this or like this. You choose, but this does not go toward the chair. Ready? Here we go. 8, 7, I'm doing it the hard way. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let's bring it in, shake it out, and we're going to do the other leg. Now, in this one, your both knees are bent. You could go knee to knee like this or straight out. Hip does not go to the chair. This knee does not move. And here we go. 8, you're so tall. 7, 6, 5, ears over the shoulders, abs are in. 4, tailbone is down, shoulder blades are down. 3, 2, don't go near the chair. 1, legs together. So we took the leg hip extension. We took the leg hip abduction to the side. Now we have hip flexion, just like when we were sitting down. So now the legs are straight. Before we were standing on a bent. Now they're both straight. Arm is going to come up if you can, or just put your hand on your hip. We are going to do a one-legged march 8 times. 8. It doesn't matter how high it comes. It just matters that you're not going like this. It's the same principle as when we were sitting on the chair lifting it up. So the most important thing is not the height of the leg. It is, can you keep your back up? Because that's when we're working the hip flexor. We want the hip flexor to get the work, not the back. Tall as you can. And 1. Shake it out. Ooh, we'll do the other side. So, it's easy to lift your leg if you're going like this, right? Because it's not really your hip flexor doing it so much. So we want the hip flexor to work. Up it goes, or hand on your hip. Here goes this knee. Now the standing leg, Try to get it as straight as you can. Shoulder blades are down now. Shoulder blades are really, really down. Up and down, doesn't matter how high. It just matters, are you staying erect? That's it. We'll shake out. Now we are going to do just a little bit more hip extension into Warrior 3. We know Warrior 1 and Warrior 2, right? So Warrior 3, let's bend your knees, and then you're going to hinge forward. So it's not rounded, it's forward. One leg goes back. I would not like to see you up here. You are forward. That leg comes 8, 7, 6. It doesn't matter if it's only coming off an inch. That's okay. The point is we want it to be forward and we want to be lifting with our glute. So keep the leg as straight as you can. So we're lifting with the gluteus maximus. And hold. Now, if you can straighten that bottom leg, that's where Warrior 3 is. And one day we hope to let go. So that's where we're going. But that doesn't have to be today. That's just where we're going someday. Let's do the other side. So the knees are bent. You come over as flat as you can. Leg comes out. Now, the point is we want it to be straight, because if it's bent, it's not going to be so much glute. It's going to be, your hamstring is going to help you. So we want that leg to stay as straight as possible. 8. Tummy is in. 7. If it comes off 1 inch, that's okay. 4 more. You're forward. We're trying to make a T in our, in our wildest dreams. And hold it up just where you can. Pull your leg long. If you can stretch your bottom leg, one day we would like to do this, because that is Warrior 3. But it doesn't have to be this day. Together, put your hands on your thighs. Remember cat and cow? That's what we're doing. You could have a hand on the chair. Round into cat. We're not doing cow. We're only doing cat. Round into cat, because that Warrior 3, it's kind of hard on your lower back. And round into cat. And down. One more time. Round into cat. Exhale when you're rounding into cat. And down. And then round into cat and let it bring you all the way up. We are ready to have a seat. So back in the chair we go. So that we can take a deep breath in, shoulder blades down, tummy is up, into your namaste. One more breath in. Now let the shoulders really fall and your head get taller, your neck get taller. One more time, inhale it up. Hands come into prayer position. Now in yoga, this position is called namaste. It's really a beautiful position. Namaste is like a greeting. It's like aloha, hello, goodbye, But namaste is in Sanskrit. And what it means is the light that is in me recognizes the light that is in you, or the divinity, the light. So in closing, that's what we say in yoga. And also, in our fitness classes, it's become popular too. So everyone, thank you so much for all your hard work. And until we meet again, namaste.